Look around you, at the clock on the wall, the contract on your desk, the brick and mortar holding up your home. All of it. The very concept of a recorded history, the rule of law, the 7-day week, and the idea of a city itself did not begin in Egypt, Greece, or Rome. It began here. In a scorching, fertile crescent of land between two legendary rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates, history awoke from its prehistoric slumber. This is Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers, a place that saw humanity's greatest innovations bloom from the mud. It was here, in the heart of what is now modern-day Iraq, that the foundation of our civilization was poured, brick by brick, and recorded with the stroke of a reed stylus. We're going to travel back 5,000 years to the world's first ever empires. We will walk the sun-baked streets of Sumer, chart the stars with Babylonian priests, witness the fearsome power of the Assyrian war machine, and discover how these ambitious, complex, and deeply human societies invented the world as we know it. This is the story of the cradle of civilization and the deep, old reality that shaped every moment since. The story begins not with kings, but with water. The annual, often volatile flooding of the Tigris and Euphrates deposited rich black silt, turning a challenging environment into a paradise for farming. The Sumerian people, a mysterious group whose language is unrelated to any other known tongue, were masters of this geography. They built vast irrigation networks, controlling the river's bounty, and in doing so, created the necessary agricultural surplus to support something new, the city-state. Sumerian cities like Uruk, Ur, and Kish were the first true urban centers on Earth. They were bustling, layered societies centered around the ziggurat, a massive stepped temple that was both a religious and economic hub. The rhythm of Sumerian life was dictated by the temple and the harvest. Most people were farmers, rising with the sun to work the fields, tending to barley, wheat, dates, and sesame. Their homes were simple, single-story mud brick structures packed tightly along narrow, winding alleyways. But not everyone toiled in the fields. The surplus wealth supported artisans who crafted magnificent jewelry, pottery, and tools. Above them were the priests and priestesses who managed the ziggurat's enormous granaries and administered the land, acting as agents for the city's patron god. The most critical profession, however, was the scribe. The Sumerians invented cuneiform, the world's first writing system, which started as simple pictographs and quickly evolved into complex wedge-shaped characters pressed into wet clay tablets. It was an invention born not of poetry, but of accounting, a way to track barley, slaves, and taxes. Yet this bookkeeping rapidly gave rise to literature, culminating in the world's first epic poem, the Epic of Gilgamesh, a timeless tale exploring mortality and friendship, written 4,000 years ago. The Sumerian lifestyle was profoundly hierarchical, but also deeply communal, unified by a shared theology and the ever-present threat of neighboring city-states or the unpredictable rivers.
Around 2334 before Common Era, the dynamic of Mesopotamia changed forever. From the northern, more Semitic region, a man named Sargon of Akkad rose to power. His story is one of myth and ambition. Legend claims he was abandoned as an infant in a basket on the river, much like Moses, only to be rescued and become a king. Sargon did not conquer a city, he conquered a concept. He defeated the independent Sumerian city-states and, for the first time, united the region under a single centralized government, establishing the world's first true empire. The Akkadian period was a crucial transition. It proved that a large territory could be governed by a single authority. Sargon built a grand capital, standardized weights and measures across the vast territory, and installed loyal governors in dozens of former city-states. While the Sumerians invented the city, the Akkadians invented imperial administration, the blueprint for all subsequent empires from Persia to Rome. This era saw a synthesis of cultures where the Sumerian religious, literary, and legal traditions were integrated and preserved under a new, powerful political structure.
After a period of chaos following the collapse of the Akkadian Empire, a new power emerged, the Amorites, who made the city of Babylon their capital. Babylon would soon become synonymous with wealth, intellectualism, and monumental architecture. Its greatest ruler was Hammurabi, circa 1792 to 1750 before Common Era. While he was a successful military leader, his true legacy is one of order and justice. His famous Code of Hammurabi is one of the earliest and most complete written legal codes. Inscribed on a diorite stela, it was publicly displayed so that no one could plead ignorance of the law. The Babylonian mindset and lifestyle. The code offered a deep look into Babylonian life. It dealt extensively with commerce, land ownership, marriage, and debt. It established the principle of lex talionis, an eye for an eye, though the punishment varied dramatically based on the social standing of the victim and the perpetrator. This emphasis on codified law demonstrated a society striving for stability, predictability, and centralized authority. Beyond the courtroom, Babylonians were pioneers of science. Their priests were meticulous astronomers, charting the movements of celestial bodies with stunning accuracy, not just for prophecy, but for agriculture and timekeeping. They divided the year into 12 months, the hour into 60 minutes, and the minute into 60 seconds, a system we still use today. Babylonian mathematics, based on a sexagesimal, base 60 system, was revolutionary, allowing them to calculate areas, volumes, and complex algebraic problems. A typical Babylonian scholar's daily life would be filled with observing the skies and calculating tablets in the temple's library. The greatest architectural legacy came later, during the Neo-Babylonian Empire, under Nebuchadnezzar II, who built the magnificent Ishtar Gate and possibly the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, cementing the city's reputation as a glittering metropolis that housed millions. The final and arguably most dominant chapter of the Mesopotamian story belongs to the Assyrians. From their northern capital of Ashur and later Nineveh, the Assyrians built an empire through unmatched military innovation and organization. Unlike the Babylonians, whose power was rooted in law and trade, the Assyrians were a military machine. They were among the first to wield iron weapons and develop advanced siege warfare techniques, utilizing sophisticated battering rams and engineering corps to breach any city wall. Their armies were vast, professional, and terrifyingly efficient, conquering and controlling a territory that stretched from Egypt to the Persian Gulf. The Assyrian lifestyle and administration. The Assyrian regime was built on two pillars, conquest and administration. Conquered peoples were often brutally treated, their leaders publicly executed, and large populations were forcibly relocated across the empire. While this was horrific, it served a purpose: to destroy local identity and forge a single, interdependent imperial state. Yet, alongside the brutality, there was cultural brilliance. The Assyrians were masters of monumental art, leaving behind stunning bas-reliefs that detail their military campaigns and royal hunts. Most importantly, King Ashurbanipal established a vast, systematically organized library in Nineveh, which held over 30,000 cuneiform tablets. This library, preserved accidentally under the rubble of the city's destruction, is the reason we know so much about Sumerian and Babylonian history, law, and literature today. They were brutal conquerors, but also essential conservators of the very civilization they dominated. By the 6th century before Common Era, the Assyrian capital of Nineveh had fallen, and Babylon eventually succumbed to the Persian Achaemenid Empire. The great empires of Mesopotamia were absorbed into even larger world systems, but their impact did not fade. The legal concepts codified by Hammurabi influenced later Roman law, which in turn forms the basis of many modern justice systems. The Babylonian astronomers provided the foundation for Greek and Hellenistic cosmology. The very act of reading and writing, the power of a recorded idea, was gifted to the world by the Sumerian scribes. The reality of these ancient peoples, their fears of debt, their love of story, their struggle to tame nature, and their ambition to build something lasting, is strikingly similar to our own. When you look at a clock, when you sign a contract, or when you simply inhabit a city, you are standing on the foundations they laid. Mesopotamia is not just a chapter in history. It is the binding of the book itself, the first page where humanity learned to write its own story.